Crowdin is a localization platform that is built around choice. You choose how you connect your content, which AI or MT you plug in, how you are going to run your workflows, and who gets access to what. Okay, so we will start with simple project creation. Then I'm going to show you all the apps and integrations. Then we will jump into workflows, AI and MT, and we will finish data reporting and security. So let's start with very simple project creation. Like in any other translation tool, we need to provide a name. Then we have to provide source and target languages. Then once we pick our project type, we have to select workflow. We don't have to select workflow at all, so we can actually pick no workflow, or you can pick one of those default ones or workflows that you created yourself. And next, inside Crowdin, you can either pick a TM or glossary that you already created, or you can just create a new TM and glossary for this project. And then you click create, and that's it, right? So as you can see, this was very simple, right? But from this very simple project creation, you can expand this to be a very complicated project, right? So as you can see, we have a lot of different integrations. We have CLI and we have API. We haven't uploaded any files yet. Let me actually open maybe another project and let me show you all the different possibilities what we have here. Okay, so we have a dashboard, right, where we have simple information about the project, all the languages that we picked, right? We have all the workflows, but you don't have to pick a workflow if you don't want to. You can pick one of those that are there by default, or you can create your own. We can manage all the strings for us inside Crowdin. We can provide context. We can have all our English strings and then all our translations. We can also upload images to basically provide context to your translators. And we have tasks. So tasks are basically this is basically a Kanban board that you can create inside Crowdin and basically manage all your tasks inside Crowdin. Then you can obviously manage your members, right? You can invite people to your project. And then we have all the integrations, right? So you have things like GitHub, where you can automatically create all the projects and basically scan for any changes automatically. So you don't have to do anything manually, right? We have reporting. We have activity where you can basically see what's happening inside the project. You can see who made changes, but also what type of changes, right? So I showed you how to create very simple project, but now let's go to the setup and let me show you all the different integrations that Crowdin has. Crowdin Store is a big part of that. So inside Crowdin, you will see a lot of different applications. So let's go over like a few different categories just to show you what are the options there. Right, so if we go to CMS, right, usually when you are localizing your product, you also have some type of CMS that you are using for website localization, and inside Crowdin, you have a lot of different integrations that are there for you. Right, so you have Webflow, Contentful, you have WordPress, Drupal, basically almost any popular CMS that companies are using these days, right? So very quickly you can set up an integration between your CMS and Crowdin. Then if you have any marketing campaigns, maybe you are using HubSpot, maybe Marketo, maybe other platform, you can also install integration for that, so you don't have to do this manually. Same with e-commerce. If you have a Shopify website, you can install integration, and the same with product localization. So inside Crowdin, you have integration with GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, you have Android and iOS integration. You actually have integration with almost any popular framework these days, right? The same with design. If you're using Figma, Canva, you can install those integrations, give that, set it up for your designers. And for example, for software localization, you can start translating right after design is ready, right? So you don't have to wait till development is finished, right? You can start translating your software strings before even development starts. If you want to use integration with Slack or Discord or maybe Teams, you can also do that and basically get notifications to those platforms. If you are using any popular, PM tool, you can also integrate Crowdin with Jira, Asana, Monday, and so on. I also wanted to point out that very recently they also deployed an 8-end node that basically allows you to automate almost any tool these days. that is available in N8N. So I think this is also amazing. So now not only you have so many different integrations inside Crowdin, now you can also use N8N and automate even more. So let's assume we set up all our integrations, and usually then you want to go into workflows, right? Inside Crowdin, you already have few default ones, right? So you have like some in-house options. If you are using in-house translators, you can have agencies set up. You can set up as many workflows as you want, and it's really up to you how do you want to run that. Obviously, it has translation memories and glossaries like any other tool, right? So if you have them, you can import them without any issues. And then let's go to machine translation and AI. Actually, let me go back to Crowdin Store. First, I want to show you all the machine translation options. So inside Crowdin, you can install any popular machine translation, but also you can install your own. So if you have deployed your own machine translation, you can run it also. Obviously, you can use one of those popular ones. So with AI is similar. You can integrate with any AI model that is available these days. Not only that, but they also have Ollama. Ollama allows you to run any open source model locally. Once you pick up your providers, inside Crowdin you have more options. So you can use the default prompt for pre-translation. Basically, this default prompt allows you to add your context into it and push it to LLM. You can use advanced mode where you can also modify the prompt itself, or you can go even further and use AI pipeline. So inside AI pipeline, there are a few options here. So you can create a new one from scratch, and there are a few different options here. Or you can use the one that is already provided to you. But basically what this allows you to do is to chain few different prompts to influence the LLM output, right? So instead of providing a lot of context up front, you can use different LLMs to basically check different things, right? So for example, you could do initial translation, then you can use another model to do proofreading, and maybe do a glossary check on the end, right? You could also do language specific instructions. So if you have something that applies only to one language, you can also do that. So inside Crowdin, if you are using just internal translators, under users, you can actually create teams, and based on these teams, you can give those teams access to either specific projects, but also specific roles, right? And also languages, right? So you can create basically project teams and roles for all your team members. If you are not using internal translators, you have two more options here. Right, so if you are inviting an LSP as a vendor, you can actually invite them, and they can actually manage your Crowdin instance for you. So if you don't want to do it yourself, right, or you can just invite them as a project manager. If you don't want them to manage anything inside your Crowdin, and you just want to do it yourself, you can invite them as vendor organization and basically sync to different Crowdin organizations. And then obviously once that is set up, right, you want to have reporting and data. So there are two levels for reporting. First one is under project. So under projects, you have all of these reports that you can run, right, for costs, for translation accuracy, usage, and so on. And you have some dashboards already that you can use, right, to track issues and so on, right? So this can be very helpful for continuous projects that you run inside Crowdin. But obviously for some use cases, having a general dashboard is also helpful. So here you can also track costs or translation accuracy across the whole organization, right? So you already have some dashboards. In any big organization, security these days is very important. And inside Crowdin, you actually have few options how you can run SSO, for example. So inside Crowdin, you obviously can use Google, you can use Okta, you can use Azure or other options to manage all your users, internal users. And also under your organization, you actually have a lot of different options. So just to finalize this video, Crowdin is all about flexibility and options. Every company is different. So depending on what you have, right? If you have software and you are using any of these, you can integrate very quickly. If you are translating mobile applications, you have integrations out of the box. If you have multiple CMS systems, you can integrate with them without any issues. If you are translating games, if you are translating marketing campaigns, you have integrations for those platforms too, and obviously with documentation too, right? So you have all of these options. With machine translation and AI, it's the same, right? If you want to use popular LLMs, you can. If you want to use your own machine translation or your own LLM, you can do that too, or you can use Olama also. You have all of these options, and it's really up to you to choose what you actually need, and Crowdin is just in the middle of that, helping you elevate your localization program.